Getting to retirement or achieving financial independence is a huge goal. How do I get there? Will I run out of money? What will I do? Where will I go? How will I fill my days? With whom will I spend my time? How do I thrive in retirement? You see, in order to thrive in your retirement, it doesn't need to be complicated. I see thriving in retirement as aging well and gracefully. To thrive is a choice. It's an attitude. Thriving means being mindful of both the difficulties and the delights of life. An enjoyable retirement is not retiring from work, but it is retiring to something that makes you happy. Something that is meaningful and has a purpose. Today, let's ask Nick and Jan, where are you in your retirement?
What's it all about, Yogi? What's it all about, Yogi?
It's all about how to thrive in retirement.
Thank you, Yogesh, for the opportunity to join you today. We're looking forward to having a chat with you and giving a good old shake-up to the kind of practicalities of retirement. There was one thing you said there about growing old gracefully. I remembered there was a dance group in Liverpool a few years ago called the _Ds, and that was a group of women called themselves the _Ds because it's called Growing Old Disgracefully. And I think that was, for me, as a great summary of actually where this journey, this kind of later life journey is headed. I think if you can be disgraceful and still maintain an attitude, then I think that's a great way of transitioning through that life. Second thing I'd say is we've come this morning from having a few problems with a car that had to be retired in the sense that it had new tyres put on it. And I kind of thought, actually, that's a kind of useful little metaphor as well. Every now and then we all need some new tyres. We all need some new injection of pace and opportunity to go a little bit further with a little less energy. So I'm looking forward to retiring myself in the sense of going, where do I get some new tyres, new engine, kind of upgrade to a hybrid electric model and all those good things. But in terms of stepping back, like retirement often means stepping back or stepping down, retiring gracefully to the pavilion with your bat under your shoulder, feeling humbled by the kind of a bowler who's just knocked you out for nothing. That kind of retirement for me isn't on the cards. Jan?
I think for me, I first looked at how I would retire when I was in my late 40s. I was in a job that I really enjoyed. I didn't particularly want to leave it, but it seemed the right time to leave. And in leaving, I would be 49, and I made sure that I could take my pension at 50. And you might think, well, why would you do that? And I think we all have different experiences of life. And my father passed away at 56. So having some life choices beyond the age of 50 was very, very important to me. I don't think I would have used the word retirement, but it was about having happy life choices that are leading to a different type of life. That didn't mean to say I stopped working, far from it, but it gave me opportunities. I would say, yes, I started actively planning. And whilst I was going in one direction, the government decided to go in another. So I'm a woman of a certain age who is affected by the change in retirement age for women. And therefore, my plan in my late 40s was to start staging that and was to attract a pension at the age of 60 from the state. That was taken away from me and I had to replan. I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a challenge when you have to replan. It made me refocus, and I think that is a really good thing to do. I don't think you should have a plan and stick to it. You should always review it. I think it's regrettable what the government did and didn't give women like me the time scale, but it's opened up a lot of opportunities to me in terms of where my working life goes, as opposed to my what you might consider a traditional retired life.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, I think the idea about planning is an interesting one, and I'm minded of, we're doing some work in a Beaumont Leys school in Leicester at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
which is looking at the career choices of teenagers, okay? And the big underlying question in those conversations is, what are you planning for? Have you planned your GCSEs? Have you planned your A-levels? Have you planned out your life? And the confusion and distress that is causing a number of young people is tangible. And the fact of the matter is, at that age, we can plan. Some of us can plan maybe better than others, but for a lot of us, there is no plan. There is a kind of living in the moment and seeing what the moment brings to us and respond to that with maybe something of an idea, of a vision of some point in the future in those golden hills. We might want to be living in a certain way, but in terms of a tangible plan, the short answer is no, other than being in the moment and doing the best that I can with where I am. Mm-hmm. But I do think this thing about planning, it gets to us from an early age these days. And I'm reminded of that John Lennon quote about, life is what happens to you when you're busy planning it. That there is life to be led and be lived in the moment, rather than worrying about what my GCSE is looking like, what are my A-levels looking like, what are my retirement pots looking like. I mean, in the end, all we've got is our health. Yes, you see, here's the thing. If you enjoy your work, if you love your work, if you have a vocation, if you have a vocational calling, why would you stop doing that?
That's right.
Under the guise of retiring? It's
That's right.
asking to kill yourself, really, isn't it? It's like if you wake up every day, if you're lucky enough to wake up every day and go, I've got something to do, there's a purpose here, why step out of that?
Sure.
For the sake of what?
That's right. That's right.
What do you think?
I think that, I think that you should, if you are enjoying your work, you should continue doing it in some form. For me, when I met Nick and married and we had to move to another location, or I had to give up a job that I thoroughly enjoyed. Mm-hmm. I've been fortunate enough, after a long period of time, to get another role during COVID within economic development. And it's where I began my career, in economic development and planning. And I've ended up back there. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I don't want to move away from helping businesses, helping citizens. I know that I've got something to give, and I know that I can give it not just at a local authority area, but also across the region. So now, I'm moving from that job into another one that's regional, and that is going to be very, very exciting. So I don't think in my psyche there is ever a time where I said I would fully retire. I do know that having moved from Cumbria to the East Midlands, that I do not want to be part of a volunteer workforce. Wherever you go, people recognise your skills as you're networking. They say, oh, can you come and help us? Could you volunteer? Well, I'd love to be financially able to do that. But as it happens, I'm not financially able to do that. I have to earn money and I have to earn a salary. Plus, from an economic development point of view, that is absolutely not representing what work the economy needs to survive. That's right. Because if we've got an army, a volunteer army, what is the economy really needing? We really don't know. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of falseness in our economy, and that gives us a falseness of, thou shalt retire at 65 or 66 or 70 or whatever time. No, there isn't a prescription for this. It's down to who you are. I had a serious health issue a few years ago. Mm-hmm. That's given me the push to really live. It was an illness that was life or death. For me, I was nearer life than I was nearer death. I was lucky. So I've got a real passion to live and to work. and to be in love. And I love this man, and we are loving our life together as we plan a great work-life balance.
Very lucky. You're right, sir. It's a very, very lucky place to be.
Yeah. So,
and why would I come together with Nick and want to stifle his passion, his creativity? We have an honest relationship, and I can say, "You're thinking of what?" Or, "That's a fantastic idea." And usually I'm on the spectrum of that is a fantastic idea. And beyond that, I go away and think, or either, oh my God, or how did he come up with that? It is such a fantastic idea. And who would want to stifle, who would want to euthanize that imagination? You just wouldn't. It would be criminal.
I would start off reviewing your own decision-making capabilities first of all. If you look back over the last 20 years, what decisions have you made and what decisions were made for you? And where were the kind of key points on that decision tree journey, if you like? You could draw out a journey of a decision tree. Where are the moments that really had an impact on you, that you were satisfied with the decision you made? It might be the wrong decision, you know, but you can still stand up to it and go, it was the right decision at the right time. And I would compile an audit of successful decision-making moments and learn from that audit about the next decisions you make. So I think it's about recognizing if you get to 60 plus, you know, you've made umpteen decisions every year. Every day you're making a decision, aren't you? But where are the kind of key ones that you've made that you feel comfortable with, you know, challenged by, but basically a kind of positive decision, and weigh up that audit of when you made them, not when they were made for you, and build a plan on your success, your successful decision tree, not the ones that were out of your control. That's what I'd say.
Great.
I'd say you have one life and one suitcase of opportunity. As you journey through life, you leave some things behind that you would really like to have done. So as you get to this stage in your life of thinking, what does retirement look like? Is it retirement? Where is my journey going in this retirement bubble? I would say, look inside that suitcase. Is there something in there that you really wanted to do that you would like to pick up and develop in these years that you have, in this time that you have? And to do an audit alongside the one with Nick of things that you would like to pick up and achieve in that time, and do things you don't always necessarily earn to the capacity that you're capable of. But it's important, if you're going to work at things that you truly enjoy. And don't be afraid to walk away from those things that are not enjoyable anymore, because other doors will open, and that suitcase of opportunities is your suitcase. So you can always look in that suitcase.
I've got a third option, which is to read a book called The Dice Man. Okay. It's premised on the idea that people make this, the character works out a series of decisions, 6 choices, okay, on a particular question or challenge. He gives 6 possible answers. He throws a dice and he follows the number that the dice gives you, okay? So you throw a 3, you take decision 3. And the whole book is premised around this idea of just following the dice. So never mind plans, just follow the dice.
Follow the dice. Well, you know, what can I say? As always, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I really honestly thank you, both of you, for taking your time and speaking to me and speaking to my audience. What a wonderful things you have said, and I'm pretty sure that'll be fantastically helpful. I know that you're running a few of your things and your channel, Nick, as well. What I'll do is I will put that link underneath where people want to find out more about you guys, and they can press the link and follow you. So once again, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yogesh.
Love-
Thank you for watching.
If you find our content useful, then please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
We really appreciate your support. See you in the next video.